Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's July 17th, 2024, and over a month ago I did my initial introduction video for the green machine, which is Avant 860i. And someone watched that video and was disappointed that I didn't put any information about the cab in it. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about the cab on the Avant 860i, also known as the green machine. First thing I'll say is I'll have to look and see, but I probably got 35 hours on it right now. I've used the tree grabber on it, and I've used the general purpose bucket on the front of it. Those are the two implements that I've used, the attachments that I've used so far, and they have been fantastic, just absolutely wonderful. And I love this machine. So I've got a couple of things I'd say that I think could be a little bit better, but overall I think it's a great machine. So this is a 57 horsepower Collier engine that's under the back part here. This is an articulated machine, meaning that the back half of the machine has a hinge point down here in between, and it does have hydraulic motors for all four wheels. So, and this has the grass or turf type tires on it. They work pretty darn well, but where I'm working down and back doing the work with the pond excavation, going up and down the hills with all the wet soil, it's mud down there. So it is a challenge, especially if I've got a big load on the front of it, which this thing is a beast. It's very, very powerful. And I use the tree grabber an awful lot. This attachment is absolutely fantastic. It's powerful. This is a heavy duty tree grabber on this with the arborist attachment that comes standard with this unit. I think this is absolutely fantastic, very powerful. I can haul big logs, big loads with this unit. It is great. The maintenance so far has been pretty easy. It's just been greasing it. There is a boatload of grease fittings on this to make sure you get all the grease fittings and all. The cab unit, they make a ROPS unit, a rollover protection unit, and they make a cab unit. The cab unit is certainly a significant financial upgrade, but it's definitely worth it for working here, especially in these, we've had these really super hot days. There's times when there's the bugs out down there, the deer flies and all. Being inside of there is great. One of the very first things that Thea said, my wife said, when I got this unit and I was driving around, she said, boy, that's the quietest machine that we own. And we have quite a few different pieces of equipment, Kubotas, Kawasaki, Takeuchi. So it's a quiet unit, and inside the cab it does have a radio with a Bluetooth, and you can listen to it beautifully inside of the listen to the radio or listen to your phone, your iPod, whatever it is that you want to send out Bluetooth to it. It works extremely well, and it's a quiet cab. Something else about this cab, there's plenty of glass in the unit. The B-pillars are relatively small in size, so the visibility out of this is great. The mirrors do a great job of being able to see what's going on behind you. This is my first articulated unit, so I was nervous about backing up in our narrow roads and all, and amongst the trees, but this has been pretty good so far. One of the things that makes the cab pretty nice is, and got a stunt airplane. There are these rubber cushion pads that mount to the front frame. So unlike most of the other articulated units, you sit on the front half of the vehicle as opposed to the back half of the vehicle. And so there are these rubber cushions that help to make the ride much more comfortable. The doors can be slid off, the door and the window on the other side, and there's just a couple of bolts to remove the glass up front as well. So those are a couple of things I'll say about it. I really like the visibility in here. The one thing I would say that that isn't great is the amount of foot room here. Now, I wear a size 13 shoe, so I can just fit in here just fine with my size 13 shoes, my regular shoes. But if I put my snow boots on or my logging boots on, my heel's right up against there, and I have to dorsal flex my ankle in order to swing back and forth between the forward and reverse on this unit. So that's the one thing that I would say. And I've had back injuries and back surgery, knee injuries, ankle injuries and all. And so the ingress and egress, the getting in and getting out of this unit is pretty darn good. You know, for an articulated unit, I think it's great. You got the 1 foot step there, and you can swing up in here pretty well. The seat is super comfortable. It's pretty dirty right now. It has an air cushion seat, so it is just, you just touch this and it'll get the cushion up a little bit more. The only other thing that I would say about this unit is I have to have the air cushion down in the seat for the air suspension if I'm wearing my my logging hat and all, because there isn't quite enough clearance up here for me to have my Fanner logging hat on and get in and get out of here, so I can't really have as comfortable a ride. So those are the only two things that I'd say that are a bit of a drawback, is the foot room and the overall head height. Now, I'm 6'2", but I have a long torso and short legs, so and I've split a hard hat before when I drove a tow motor or a forklift in the past years ago. All right, another thing I would say is, one thing I absolutely love is I can put my 1 quart mason jars right in this slot right over here. You know what I'm going to do, since it's hard for me to use this camera right now, I'm going to switch to my other handheld camera to show you the rest in here. It'd be easier for me to show you that. So I'm going to switch cameras now. Okay, I've switched cameras, so hopefully this is going to work out okay. Here is your heating and air conditioning switches here right on the front door, on the base as you glide over to get into the seat. There's other places for putting your phone or putting small tools in here, or putting drinking glasses, whatever it is. So I'd say this cab, as far as being able to put my phone and just be able to set it right up in there, that's absolutely fantastic. Being able to bring my mason jar for my water, absolutely great. So that's fantastic. We have a small fuse box here next to the Bluetooth radio right here. I'll get up in here in just a second. You see I've got leaves in here. Was there something else I wanted to say before I get into there?
And so part of what was happening at the FOSBA conference was communities getting together to talk about what they can do to save it, solutions that are grassroots.
So I evidently hit the power for the radio there. Really nice radio, works fantastic. This is your windshield wiper motor housing here, and washer discharge in here, so the windshield wiper works pretty good. It's really good visibility all the way around in here. I'll close the door here for a second. Very, very good visibility, and when you've got that long boom and you're way up in the air, you can look out through the ceiling here and see. So, and you have a sunshade that can block some of the light as well, which I haven't had an issue with. Let me see what else to say. Your headlights or your horn is here. Your different headlight settings are right down here, so you can have the lights on. Turn signals. Over here on this side are your windshield wipers and washers on this side. You have a steering ball to make it easier, so when you're using the equipment and you're using the joystick over here on this side, it's much easier to steer and all. I'm going to go ahead and start the unit up. So that's the sound it makes inside here. I'm going to go ahead, I'll turn on the air conditioning. So now you're getting the full effect of the sound in here. So as far as up here, the instruments, and everything's dirty here, sorry about this. So the running lights for the main unit itself is right here. These are your flashing lights on the unit. I really haven't used those very much, but when I'm in the forest, sometimes I hit that by mistake. Now, this is a hydrostatic, hydraulic run wheels, drive motors for the unit. So if you're on an incline or whatever, you press that button there, and what you've done is you just set like a parking brake on it. This switch right here is to open and close the quick attachment, so to switch in between over 200 different attachments on the unit. So when you open this up, it'll open the and it'll beep at you. Close it. Hopefully I didn't disconnect the unit. This is the 2 speeds of the unit. About maximum speed in turtle, which I've only been in so far, is about 9 miles per hour. Maximum speed, and when you're in rabbit mode, is I think it's 18 miles per hour. This switch right here, I think it does 2 functions. I think it maintains your with your front end loader, and you're bringing up your bucket. It'll maintain a level so that you're vertically maintaining the bucket at level when it's in this position. And this is sort of a I'm going to call it a load cushioner. So when I've got some big logs out in the front there with a tree grabber, and I've got that boom extended and all, and I'm driving around while there's a hell of a lot of weight out there, what it does is it balances off, it balances the hydraulic flow between as you're going over bumps, so it cushions you. So it's a load cushioner in a sense, is what this unit is. And since I've got the tree grabber on there now, I keep that on. These are the 4-way flashers on it, your emergency flashers. The display here is now it can be calibrated to other settings as well, but this is set for liters per minute right now. And so the throttle is right up here under my handrest. I'm not sure what it's doing. Okay. So right now I'm picking up the boom, and I hit the radio again. So as I raise the throttle's right here underneath the armrest. It shows you the revolutions per minute on the outer, like a watch, a clock face here, and the liters per minute in the center. Now each attachment has a rated standard flow rate and maximum flow rate. So for example, the tree grabber out here, when I'm carrying logs and all, we don't want to exceed 30 liters per minute when I'm functioning, grabbing a hold or moving things. And I'll show you the joystick in a moment, but first I'll just show you out front there, you'll see. So I can open the tree grabber up, I can rotate it around, I'm lifting the boom up, I'm tilting the boom forward, and I'll show you that all in a minute. I'm going to close the tree grabber. Now I can rotate it in this direction or in this direction, and so all of that's done with one hand easily from this system here. If I want to, and I'll show you this now, you watch, I'm going to extend the boom. Hopefully you can see that boom moving out. It's hard to see from this angle. And I lift it up. And you've got quite a range here. Now I'm going to retract the boom now. So this is the switch for retracting the boom. To tilt it forward, to lower the boom, this. If I want to raise to raise the stick on it, so to speak, I turn to the right, or to empty the bucket, I move it to this way. So to tilt back, to tilt forward to dump the load. again, to rotate in one direction. So this goes clockwise, this goes counterclockwise. There's another auto switch underneath here that that will switch the auxiliary switches here, so that you can design this to have the switches operate different pieces of equipment, which I haven't got other accessories yet, so I haven't used that. Okay, this switch here, so this is all electronic over hydraulics, so it can be a little bit jerky. So for example, when I'm extending the boom, I press this button. When I'm retracting the boom, I do this. Well, this is electronics over hydraulics, so it's sort of jerky when it does it, just slightly, not bad. But I can just feather it by doing strictly hydraulics here. So this is extending and then retracting the boom right there. This switch here, let's say I've got a flail mower on, or a brush, or anything that requires, or a snow blower that requires continuous hydraulic fluid. I can use this and put it into detent, and now the fluid's running continuously. I bring it over there. Some attachments will allow you to switch it so that you can run it in reverse. So I could just go this way, and that's going to run the hydraulics on the unit in reverse, as opposed to using the buttons up here. I don't remember this switch right now, to tell you the truth. This is the heated seat. This is the overhead lights for the unit. Hopefully I'm getting these things in camera. These are the overhead lights right here. I'm going to call them like auxiliary lights on the cab unit itself. This unit switches. So in this mode right here, as you're moving around on the ground, wherever you're going, let's say you're on a lawn, what you're doing is you're allowing the unit to switch. Let's say they're diagonals. So the front right and the rear back, left will be working together, so that you're not tearing up the lawn when you're driving around. If you wanted to lock it so that just the right side or just the left side are engaged, you could switch this to this position. Hopefully that makes sense. So you're locking the unit. If you want full-time four-wheel drive, there's a switch right here, a button here, that while you're operating it, and I had to use this a few times when I start getting stuck, or let's say you're going in, you're scooping a significant pile of soil or gravel or whatever it is, and your wheels start slipping, you can just go ahead and depress this switch here, and that will engage full-time four-wheel drive. And if you had that on all the time, you'd be tearing up your lawn. So hopefully that makes sense. With some attachments, so let's say you've got the snow blower or a flail mower on, what you can do is, I'm just going to drop the throttle back a little bit right now. So I've got 21 liters per minute, and I'm about, I'd say 1250 RPMs here. So if I switch this switch right here, it kicks in a second pump, and now it's delivering 40 liters per minute. Now I haven't had to use that because I don't have any attachments that require that much flow with the hydraulics yet. I guess this is another horn here. Yep. Your key. This Collier engine does not require glow plugs, and from what Mark told me, who is the East Coast company rep, you don't really need glow plugs. This thing starts right up in cold weather just by turning it, so that's a pretty nice component. So is there anything that I missed up here? I think, the ventilation ports for the air conditioning and heat are in each four corners of the upper part here, and from what I understand, there's one on the floor down here as well. I'll have to look around. I'm not sure just where that is, so it'll keep your feet warm as well. And geez, is there anything that I forgot to cover from in here? I don't think so. So we do have an auxiliary 12 volt, so if you wanted to hook something else on it. So we do have a heated seat, as I mentioned before, and it's an air cushion seat. Well, I'll go ahead and hit the button now. Pretty darn nice, the air cushion seat. Okay. Oh, in order for it to drive, you do have to have your seatbelt on. So that's pretty good. Yes, there is a vent down here that I see. Right over here. It is open. I thought it was a flip open. It's open all the time. You've got a glass break in there. The air conditioning unit mounts right here. I'm going to turn it off. Here are the spotlights and activity lights for being able to light up the area that we had to switch inside. Here are the front lights for the cab, spotlights and activity lights there. Just fantastic. I'm going to switch to the other camera. Okay, so far I absolutely love this piece of equipment. The only things that I'd say that are a little bit frustrating is I've got a long torso, so someone taller or has shorter legs and has a taller torso than me could potentially have trouble with the cab unit. The ROPS, no problem whatsoever. The other thing is if you've got size 14, definitely get in the machine first before doing it. Or if you're like me, wear a size 13 and you're wearing big heavy steel-toed or logging boots, that might be an issue. You might want to check that out. But those are the only two drawbacks. I've adapted and gotten gotten pretty comfortable with getting in and getting out of it, with the way the unit is set up there. I have more challenges when it's muddy with other pieces of equipment, 3 points of contact to get in and out. But yeah, this machine has been absolutely fantastic so far. The cab, it's so comfortable inside of this unit. It's the most comfortable of all the equipment that I have. It's the quietest. It's enjoyable. The air cushion seat is fantastic. I love that you have all the places you can put your phone or whatever other things you're carrying. Here I've got a utility knife in there, my phone. I can easily put my quart jar of water in here. I wish the rest of my pieces of equipment could take something that large. I haven't pulled out the floor mats yet, but they look like they're pretty easy potentially to get out of here or at least clean up. I don't know. Air filter here. And I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the description below. Like I say, so far this is awesome. I wish all my equipment was as comfortable and enjoyable to operate and as quiet as this. But the multifunctionality of this with all the different attachments and that boom is just amazing. The tree grabber is fantastic. Being able to, I've taken big root balls with this. I've taken, 4 logs that are 18 inches in diameter all at one time that are like 12, 14 foot long. I just kick the butt of them right up here against the teeth, hold on to them here, and I can go any place on the property. Took a little bit getting used to the articulated way that the loader actually operates, but it's worked out just fine. So that's it for today's video. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. And by all means, folks, stay safe and take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.